So I'm a huge Tyler the Creator fan. I have been for years. I own a lot of his albums, and today I wanted to rank them from worst to best because that's about the level of content I am willing to make right now. I'm not going to include Bastard, the mixtape, in the ranking because I have not fully listened to it like front to back, and I probably never will. I enjoy a few songs on it, but it's still not great. Starting off at the very bottom of the list is Goblin. This one should be pretty fucking obvious considering it was his first studio album, and at that it was pretty bad. Production was obnoxious. The lyrics were just fucking vile, like some despicable diabolical shit. If there was one album that I could take and basically slap a label on it that says I am a threat to society, that's the album. There's like a few standalone tracks on the album that I'm like, yeah, it's okay, it's pretty good. For example, Analog and She. I love the Frank Ocean feature on She, but other than that, it was pretty fucking atrocious. Next up on the list was a difficult choice for me because I enjoy this album. There's really good highlights on this album, but at the same time, there's not enough for it to be higher on this list, and that is Cherry Bomb. It has some really good tracks on it. Two-Seater, Find Your Wings, and Death Camp would probably be like in my top three. And honestly, this album is very solid, but there's so many points in the album where like it just like takes a dip in quality in production and like everything. Like it's very inconsistent as an album. So I can't rank it any higher than that because of how inconsistent it is, but I do love the album, especially like again, Two-Seater, Find Your Wings, stuff like that. Really good, but can't be any higher than that because of just the lows are way too low. Next one on the list is Wolf. Very controversial ranking, I guess. It's not really controversial to me because it's kind of like the middle point. It's kind of like the average. It's basically like a more mature, upgraded version of Goblin. It's basically like if Tyler went to therapy basically and learned to not be a psychopath or as much of a psychopath. I mean, this album's still like there's some fucked up moments on it, but still there is some really good like moments in the album. There's really good production, but it's a lot more mature in its subject matter than Goblin is. Goblin just like goes head first into it with no discretion whatsoever, whereas Wolf takes more of an artistic approach, more of a storytelling approach to it. And that I can respect, and that's why it's higher up on this list. I, again, really like the Frank Ocean feature on it. Features. He has several features, but Frank Ocean makes any song pretty good. Oh, and I do own Wolf. I own Wolf. The rest of the albums that I'm going to rank here, I do own. Coming in third best is another really hard choice for me because I love the top three albums in this list. Like, these are like some of my favorite albums, but in third, I gotta give it to Flower Boy. It's a really solid album with really good production. The features on it, Steve Lacy, come on. Like, Steve Lacy's a good feature. Frank Ocean, again, I love the Frank Ocean feature. I'm gonna say that about every single feature that has Frank Ocean in it, but it's just a solid album overall. Like, there's nothing to really complain about. But if I were to pick like my top favorite songs in this album, it would probably be Glitter, 911, Mr. Lonely, and Garden Shed. I think those are my favorite. But the whole album's filled with like excellent work. So I like you can't really go wrong with this. It's pretty good. Very close second, almost tied with Flower Boy, is Call Me If You Get Lost. This is including the deluxe, which I do not have yet, but this is including like the deluxe tracks that came out recently. The reason it's higher up is because the increase in value, like in production, and the huge fucking like track list of features on it. It's just slightly better than Flower Boy in my opinion. If I were to like, say my favorite songs from this album, Corso, Sweet I Thought You Wanted to Dance, and Rise, probably. I don't know why. Rise I really liked. I think it's been a few months since I've like fully listened to it front to back, but this album is really, really good. Again, slightly better than Flower Boy. Not saying Flower Boy is bad, because Flower Boy is a very solid album. Coming in first place is Igor. This is kind of like the obvious choice for most fans of Tyler the Creator. Some disagree with that, like putting it at number one, but for most people, it's pretty obvious. It's his most consistent project to date. The production, the emotion, everything about it is like phenomenal. Storytelling wise, like the whole album itself, like as you go through it, it has like a whole story. The cool part about it is when you listen to it front to back, it's like a loop almost. I have some sort of like emotional attachment to it because I first listened to this album when I was going through my first real like rough breakup. I think I was dating a girl for like 1 or 2 years. Like at that time, that was like the most serious relationship I have ever had, and that album got me through a lot of it. I would say Igor is on like a league of its own. Like, but yeah, like Tyler the Creator has been one of the most consistent artists over the past, like, let's say, like, since Flower Boy, which was around 2017, 2018-ish. So he's been kind of running shit since then, like, and he has just blossomed into this, like, insanely talented producer, songwriter, rapper, and I'm excited to see what projects he comes up with next. So yeah, that's my ranking of Tyler's albums. You know, if you disagree, you can let me know. You can say, Nate, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Wolf's the best album. You're a dumbass.